The Punchline Academy live and direct here on a Wednesday. SiriusXM Shade 45. Guys, hit the YouTube channel, youtube.com. At the Inphamus Amadeuz, them phone lines will be open 1-888-742-3345 as me and my guy, Tone Vieira, continue to run it up as we do every single Wednesday.
Just enjoying the time that the Knicks are having right now. Knicks is looking real good right now.
Yeah, Knicks are looking good. The city is different when the underdog starts to win.
Oh, you're not lying.
You know what I mean? The city, the Wolves come out, it starts getting crazy. On the baseball side, the Mets is killing it, right? So it might be a blue and orange year. We never know.
Yeah, and I love that our guest is repping New York right now, heavy.
Yeah, super heavy. Listen, if you are a fan of the culture, if you are inquisitive about what you need to do, what are the correct ways to go about it business-wise, artist-wise. I got my brother. He's one of the top curators in the culture. Mecc, welcome to the Punchline Academy, bro. What's up, man?
Salute. One time for the room. Respect, King. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for having me.
So when I look at the space, right, we live in a day and age of clickbait and misinformation.
Facts.
It's not only in hip-hop, it's political, it's all that. I remember when I used to watch the Source magazine, I felt like that was the right information. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? That you look forward to seeing if your favorite album got 5 mics, 4 mics, and debates in the barbershop. Why do you think people have gotten away from that?
The disingenuous thrive when there's a lack of proper information, real, authentic information. So the first thing you want to do is undercut the people who are giving you the information. I hate dropping all this vocabulary, but it's the Punchline Academy.
Yeah,
I figure
course,
you guys can keep. All right, so if I can undermine the person who's a trusted source, pardon the pun, of information, then anything that comes from anywhere sounds suspect, because now the person you used to trust, you don't trust anymore, right? I can thrive in that environment because now I can sell salt to a slug. I can sell water to a whale, and I can get over because you don't know any better, because I've managed to undermine the expert. And people resent any level of expertise. They want to be able to say, well, fuck, I can do that too. You ain't special. Like we live in now in an era where we've been giving away so many participation trophies. We've told all these kids, you're special. You can do anything you put your mind to. And that sounds great until you get into a back and forth with an expert and you resent them for being intelligent or more knowledgeable on the subject. So now your feelings come into play. And I feel like as soon as somebody starts conversation with me where I feel like, okay, so now we're not going off facts anymore. Now we're going off feelings. And your feelings are never wrong.
Feelings, yeah.
I can't tell you how to feel.
Yeah.
I can tell you what the truth is. But now the truth is, it's my truth. I'm telling my truth. Well, yeah, but that's not the truth. It's your truth. Still could be foul. Still could be wrong. So there's I think between folks wanting to be seen as experts, I think between people not wanting to, feel lesser than someone smarter, insecurities, and I think there are people with disingenuous intentions. Thank you. Really, really foul intentions, and they can't thrive if you know all the information. They can't get over on you on a contract if you know what the language means.
Yeah, stupid is type of thing. So obviously, you got the Source magazine at its height. We saw the decline. We see the rise of social media. Starts with AOL. It goes off from there. Then we have World Star, and it goes off from there. At what point did you say to yourself, as a curator of the space, things are going left? It's not about results. It's about clout. It's not about, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I live in this space right now. I tell artists all the fucking time, like, my nigga, fuck the look. It's the results.
And you want to know when that started for me?
Yeah, I just want to know, as somebody who was curating the space at that time, like, when did you see, like, okay, things may be going in a different direction?
I think when, oh man, y'all are gonna hate me for this. It's twofold. I think one, when Jay started saying, I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler. I think he opened the door for people who put rap secondary to getting to the money. So now the skill set is less valuable than someone's desire to go after it. And because you're a hustler, you look at rappers like they're corny.
Now it's about the money. It's not about the culture, the talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the culture thrives around the talent. But now the talent is second to someone who's hustling. And I think when Diddy when Diddy put out the phrase "player hater," when he made that a thing, it was a phrase used to undermine people who were calling him on the fact that he was biting beats. Something that gatekeepers,
and that was like 97.
Yeah, it was early. But it's when money became a real thing.
Became a thing.
He took the conversation out of the hands of curators and DJs and tastemakers and the people who were really like guarding the gate and keeping the bar high. And he turned around to the consumer and said to them, "Don't you hate when you trying to get this money and be successful and the motherfuckers hating on you? Don't you hate it when somebody just comes out the blue and you trying to get to your money?" And the fans loved it because they felt like that. We just talked about the underdog. They felt like the underdog to the experts, and they don't want you to be more special than them just because you have a real talent and you can really rap and really produce and really DJ and really break. They don't want that. You're not special, motherfucker. You ain't better than me. And here that comes again. So when you call somebody a player hater or you call them a hater every time they critique something that you've done, and it's not a real, even if it is a real critique, even if it's just an observation like, yo, you're biting. I heard that before. That you stole that from X, Y. Stop hating. Stop hating. Get money.
It's interesting that you say that because I remember, like in the 90s, like when Hov was talking like the Cristal shit and all that, like motherfuckers didn't understand that type of talk, right? So when I look at the timeline, we always talk about this. Like I look at like the Biggie and Pac thing, and then it's like okay, then they just shifted away from it as much as they could. It's almost like hypocritical in the sense because you want to get away from gangster rap, but then you bring in people like 50 and you bring in, you know what I'm saying, the Ja Rules of the world and this of the world, you know what I mean? But how did that play into it as well? Like those two big deaths. Because media was a part of driving that. Like anybody you talk to, they kind of know that. That's a
fact. Yeah, that's a fact. When they started going back and forth, the print media really fueled a lot of that back and forth. And even if you were just reporting on it, people took sides, right? I think those deaths played a significant role in how we look at music today because those guys weren't around to influence the generations in real time the way they should be. Big L, Big Pun, Biggie, Pac, those four, Jam Master J2, I think those 5 people still in the mix, still making music.
Things are different.
They influence the generation. Lyricism now becomes
still the thing.
The thing you need. You can't, you want to rhyme like Pun, you want to rhyme like L. L was about to take off. L was about to sign to Rockefeller. He would have been amazing. Pun second album was incredible. The first album was nuts, and he was just getting his incline. Big didn't make it past didn't make it album 3.
Yeah.
And Pac had just hit his stride. He was just about to start kind of getting things back together. The commission was 2 steps away.
Yeah, I know. And he was on album 6, which was crazy when all this happened.
Which you wouldn't know.
He was on album 6.
Which you wouldn't know, but think about the changes those people I'm talking about were about to make. Big L signing to Rockefeller.
Crazy.
With the Dame Dash behind him and the Dipset budget, his old buddy Cameron there. And he had just ran a circle, not just, but went toe-to-toe with Jay over a beat on. If you heard that freestyle, those two going back and forth, and a lot of people will tell you that L edged him. L got him.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah, see?
It's not even close.
See, those arguments, and they're legitimate arguments. So what do you do now? Like, those guys are gone. I don't think Biggie and Pac were the most publicized because they were violent.
Yeah, but they were also the biggest stars at that time, too.
Yeah, but who's to say that it would have stayed that way had the people I'm talking about, like Pun was coming, Pun was on the way,
he was on his way,
and he was taking shots. He was already going in for it. Like he that man was not. And Big L had just got the major boost, signing a Rockefeller with that budget, Def Jam, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Imagine what it would have been like, a big budget, Big L album,
crazy,
with Digging in the Crates behind,
crazy,
son. Lord Finesse on a couple of.
Yeah.
Don't
Diamond D.
She was about to get crazy for sure.
He would have had all the backing to play in that league. And niggas were legit afraid of L on a track, as they should be, because he was dangerous.
I believe it, and that gives us more reason to look forward to this Mass Appeal project that they're going to drop for Big L.
I love it.
Yeah. Mecc, a moment ago you were mentioning that, like, people try to discredit those who are speaking the truth, those who are experts. Sounds like a legal tactic, when you try to discredit the witness.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the 90s, a lot of people, with the rise of, HBCUs and so forth, a lot of people were starting to get very educated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you got people who like wanted to do hip hop, but instead took the, let me go the corporate route.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get very educated.
Mm-hmm.
And now they find themselves kind of like attacking the thing that they grew up on, which is hip hop.
Well, the thing that they grew up on isn't exactly the same anymore. You think what I mean? They're not, that what they're witnessing isn't what they know the authentic thing to be. So they're still hip hop heads, but it's like you went away to college and came back, and the school you went to is a mall now, and the church you were at is a police precinct. You know what I mean? And the daycare center you at is a crack spot. It's like, oh, what the fuck just happened here? I want to be home, but this ain't home. What are we doing? And I run into corporate hip hop heads all the time. All the time. They watch the show. They shout me out. Suits, ties, briefcases. Yo, keep doing your thing. Yo, what you doing? I fuck with it. Where's the real music? It's just not where you're looking. It's just not in the direction that they're pointing you to. Because as corporate people, they get it. It's about sales. For these labels, it's about sales. They don't care about culture. They care about profit. We're a commodity to them, not a culture. We're just something to be packaged up, shipped, and sold. And then the second it burns out, you replace it and get another one. Now, if I'm corporate, it doesn't do me any good to sign or make something popular the caliber of Common, Lil Wayne, Lauryn Hill, because I can't replace them. Another Nas, a Jay-Z. You can't replace them. Those are generational talents. Now they're out there, but if these people start arguing about the money that I owe them and they get wise, what am I going to do about that? I can't go get another one, so it behooves me to keep the bullshit going.
Yeah, it's more of an incentive for the people in control
to keep the talent super low, to keep the talent bar super low, so I can always go find another one. A little, I can find one of those on any corner. So let me keep that going, and make sure that they're not kicking it with anybody who's got some gray in their beard, because those niggas know all the tricks, and I don't need these young dudes getting wise early on. I don't need them looking at their contracts too close. So make sure we cut them off from them. Make sure they don't kick it with the older generation artists, because those niggas know all the tricks too, and they survive. So keep them away from...
Yeah. So you create the gap purposely.
Keep them away from the Jadas, the Fat Joes, the Busta Rhymes. Make sure they don't go around nobody who can actually tell them, listen, this is what you want to do. You don't want to do that. Keep them away from Master P. That motherfucker knows too much.
Yeah, too much. Yeah.
Fucking Busta Rhymes been around for 30 years. Keep him away from him. He knows where the bodies are buried. Don't go nowhere around it. And that's if I'm the label, that makes it good for me. That's what I want.
Has the system always been designed like this, even like with rock and roll?
Someone always builds a better mousetrap. The problem with us is our music is not seen as a culture the way rock is. The people who are running the labels didn't grow up listening to hip hop with the same experience that we did. They grew up listening to rock music, which is why their idols can be 70, 80 years old, 88 years old on their deathbed and still doing concerts, still selling out venues, and have 4 separate generations of the same family in the audience listening to their shit. The grandfather, the father, the son, his little son, all know the drummer, the bass player, the guitar player. They don't have ageism. We do. They inflict that on us. They tell us that it's a young man's game, but they sign artists at 40 and 50 and don't think about it twice. People get their big break, 40 and 50.
A lot of it has to do with also that the music hasn't changed that much in the rock and roll space. So it doesn't, you can hear like the core shit when it comes to rock and roll. Like when you hear, I'll give you an example, like Spanish music, right? So like dembow, like the playero shit in the 90s is not that much different than the dembow that's popping now. Where hip hop is just become completely different, where it's like we could all walk down the block right now in the Bronx and we don't hear nothing that sounds like the Bronx. So we go to Harlem, nothing sounds like Harlem. We don't hear nothing that sounds like Brooklyn. And there's been such a divide in the culture, probably for the reason that you said.
I'll challenge you on one aspect. Rock has been allowed to grow and evolve. They have easy listening. They have grunge. They have metal. They have death metal. They have pop. It's all evolutions.
The subgenres. We spoke
all
about this.
evolutions of rock. We don't get to do that. Our music barely gets to grow up.
But why? When the label can just distribute it in a subgenre category.
Because they want it. If I'm the label, I make more money if I keep it young. I make more money if I keep you ignorant. When you don't know any better and you think that growing up is a curse, it's easier for me if I keep you away from somebody who's over 35 and you're just a kid and you think you know everything. Yeah. It's way easier for me to sell you tons of shit. Now the backlash is a lot of these kids don't buy shit. They don't want to buy shit. So when you hear that sales are down 40% across the board and labels are letting people go left, right, and center because there's no money or the money's being hoarded at the top, it's not working. Your game plan's not working. You're fucking this up. And, here we are. But rock doesn't have the same issues that I talked to a dude at Rolling Stone one time. He cursed me out because I was supporting hip hop. And I mean like an old school Rolling Stone, silver rings, leather vest, one of them Roman tie shirts with like the taco meat showing, like, well, it ain't taco meat on him, but you know what I mean? Like with the slick back, he looked like he did coke with Lennon. And me and this dude got into a straight argument. He's like, I can't believe as smart as you are, you still support hip hop. And I waved the flag, so I was, word? Like this what we doing? Okay, let's get it spicy.
Yeah.
Nah. Chewed me up, bro. Chewed me. You let the kids put your idols out the pasture. The inmates are running the asylum. You don't have any fucking legends. The best you have, you cut everybody off from it. You guys got to go overseas to tour and everything. I couldn't dispute any point he had. Everything he said was accurate.
Man, Super Youre here at the Punchline Academy. Sirius XM Shea 45 Mecca is here. Let's play a classic and we'll be back here on the Punchline Academy.